Okay, thank you, Joshua. And is everybody enjoying themselves? Okay, yay! Good. Okay, really happy to be here, and thank you, Joshua, and thank you, Lassi, for the invitation for us. And as you all know, we are in a really big hurry. So with the climate change, these graphs are really familiar with you guys. And our point with Smart and Clean is really that we really need to move fast. We are not really happy with piloting anymore. We need to go so fast towards carbon neutrality and circular economy kind of way of living that we can't postpone this anymore. As you all know, these are the typical carbon footprints for Finnish people. We are around 10,000 here in Finland and in the Nordics. We should all go towards maybe 3,000. But we believe that the change is happening here in the cities. I think where is the carbon footprint coming from? And now we are very much focusing on heating, mobility, electricity, and the buildings. But this is the real tough one, the consumption and the eating, where Loudspring is also tackling the food issue. How do we live? How do we move? How do we live our lives? And there we need really new solutions and new ways of doing things. And this is our target. We started 2 years ago, and as I said, we are quite a unique project in a way that we are in a form of a foundation. And what we mean by this testbed idea, we started with this work by thinking, okay, let's make some really great projects where our companies can make good references, and then they kind of scale globally and everybody's happy. We get some export opportunities for Finnish companies, and then the cities can grow and get more jobs and investments. But it's not that simple, I think. This is our end goal. We are working in basically the whole urban environment you are looking in right now here in Helsinki metropolitan region. So we are working with the energy, mobility, citizen solutions, circular economy issues, and then built environment. And this is, of course, the tough part, to really reach these end goals over here. Let's say we have the world's most attractive emission-free mobility. I think it's a tricky one, because we all know that we can change the fuels for the cars or walk a bit more, but really to have these sustainable mobility solutions as a default and everyday use in the city, it's a bit trickier. We are here, we are like a small team, an operator in the middle, and like I said, the cities, companies, and the R&D community and the government has promised us to have the funding. And luckily for me, they already said it 2016, and they are now funding us for 5 years. But these projects that I can give you a couple of examples are really the showcases that we are working on, but this is the end goal. We are really working on a new PPPP model that could be an example to the world. This is something different that we are doing here in Helsinki with the businesses, with the cities. So this becomes a kind of permanent model of working. About testbeds, this is maybe a new number to you as well. It was for me that only in Helsinki region we have about 70 physical or digital testbeds within Smart and Clean kind of area. And in Finland it's calculated or estimated, to be fair, that there are about 1,000 testbeds. But we believe that testbeds can be the tools for the change. Because if we succeed in working with testbeds in a way that we make some solutions and a bit more holistic solutions with ecosystem, not only one single technologies really work, then we learn and then we scale. And it's kind of all in control somehow. Let's say, for example, for Helsinki city. And this is very important, not to bore you, but just to give you an idea what we call Smart and Clean. We have created these criteria that our project need to fulfill, and they always need to improve the quality of the life of the citizen for Joona and the guys. They always need to have some international reference value, so something novel, something in a scale that hasn't been done anywhere in the world. They always need to have business potential, but really sustainable business potential in a way that we want it to be permanent, not only a trial, or not something that is funded with the public money, impacts. And we are doing many things. Just to give you a glance, with transportation, there is so much going on. But for example, just last week there was a Aviapolis mobility testbed being launched in Vantaa, next to the airport, where all kinds of different kinds of mobility solutions are being tested. Then this is our first project that is quite a nice project in a way that the idea came from Vaisala, the sensor company, and they kind of said that, okay, we have these really cool sensors that are quite small, a bit bigger than a beer can, instead of those big containers that we see all over the world. What if we make an IoT sensor network that would be online and giving data to be utilized? And now this sensor network is working, and the data has been just opened. So I'm inviting all of you developers to do something with the data, develop applications to consumers or mobility management or whatever. So this is one of the test beds that is now in use. Then we have one I used to call not so sexy project, but I think it's very sexy at the moment. When you say word microplastics, everybody's like, oh, is this about microplastics? Because stormwater management is something that doesn't ring the bell so much. So there's a test bed in the Helsinki region testing different technologies, how to remove microplastics and heavy metals from the water. In energy sector, of course, there's a big transformation going on, and I could maybe mention Smart Otaniemi area that is a big test bed for new development. And then this is maybe potentially our biggest case, which is called Renovation Leap, and the idea is to completely renew the way we do renovations in the buildings. And only mention the indoor air quality project. I noticed that I don't have the slide, but also there the ambition level is very high. We are aiming for a model where we can kind of have good indoor air quality as a service. And to be able to transform the cities, I don't know if Katri is still here, to buy good indoor air instead of walls. I don't know. When can we make this? But we have a really group of, for example, in this Renovation Leap, a really group of very ambitious companies, and then the city providers who own the buildings, where we are going to test these renovations next year in real life. And then we have an urban food case as well. We are kind of supporting the local digital platforms to connect consumers, logistics, and these scattered players. So that's going on. And then finally, we haven't started this officially, but next year we are going to work on the circular economy of plastics. But to end my kind of thoughts, we collected some ideas. What we believe at the moment is really the elements of the great PPPP that we need to work on to achieve these really, really ambitious results. We need to work with ecosystems. Nobody can do this alone, and we really need to partner and have public and private partnerships. The market dialogue and how do we do these kind of procurements in the future is really the key. And then my favorite is from pilots to permanent. So we really should have some kind of mechanisms or commitments to the things that actually work, that they are going to be scaled up and used. And then finally the Testbed Finland, which is now an idea, but Business Finland is working on, so we could really have a network of testbeds that kind of communicate together, and then also the businesses can communicate together. So this is a really quick glance of the work we are doing, but our motto is do, not just talk. So I stop here, and I believe that we can do this together. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Tiina.